Simon, what's the energy in the room like or in the club like at the moment after obviously another disappointing loss last week?
Yeah, obviously from an outcome perspective, we're not happy where we sit, but from an energy perspective and a belief perspective, the players have still got enormous belief and energy that, they can turn things around, and that's the space that we're operating in. It's about getting better, and obviously I spoke about being urgent. It's about urgency to get better, but stay calm that the outcome hasn't been what we've wanted, but that can turn pretty quick as well.
So many coaches talk about not changing anything, but continue to doing something. What do you need to continue to do to fix the outcomes?
We've been exploring a new way of playing, and we haven't shied away from that, and we're not going to shy away from it. We're going to keep going down that path about finding a new method for our team, and it's all phases of the game, and it's been a bit inconsistent the way we've gone about it, and it's not consistent to the level that we need to get the result, but we feel like we're making progression. It was better on the weekend, and we feel like we've found some things.
And Simon, you mentioned so much urgency in the post-game, and then again today, it seems like a bit of a common theme. Where does urgency need to be applied in your team?
Oh, it's about getting better every day. That's what you need to be urgent with. We're getting some players back over the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's about maximising our cohesion. It's about training well. It's about preparing well. It's about doing all the little things in and around our footy club that's going to end up resulting in a positive result. And that's what we're looking for. It's about to start to get some positive results, but you only do that through the work you do through the week, and then come game day, come and execute.
Simon, only I think it's 2 teams in recent years have come from a 0-4 start to making finals. What makes you confident you can, buck the trend from recent years?
We've got some experienced players that are very proud and are keen to get better. And we've got some young, talented guys that need coaching, they need development, and they're only going to get better and improve. And that's in the front half of the ground. It's all through our club that we've drafted some young guys that need coaching and they need development. We feel they're going to get better, and we've got some proud senior players that want to get back to playing their best footy. And when that cohesion comes together, we feel that we're going to make some progressions in this competition.
I think you mentioned proud players. We also saw Christian's reaction after the final siren. How's he sort of responded during the week? Because clearly he was one of those guys that was pretty frustrated with where you're sitting at the moment.
He wasn't frustrated. He wants to win. Yeah, and clearly he shows that with his emotion. As I said, he's a winner. He's determined for success, and that's what we love about him. He cares about his footy club, he cares about his teammates, and he wants to be involved in a winning team. And there's been a hell of a lot of commentary around it, both positively and negatively. From a coach, I loved it. I love that he's got emotion. I love that he shows how passionate he is about his footy club, and he displays that on a daily basis when he's in here. He's helping develop young players. He's helping coach the team and lead the team throughout the week in training sessions and game days. So I love what he brings our footy club, and people see it differently, but he's an outstanding person for us.
Do you use that at all as a group to motivate? This is what it means to one of you, this is what it should mean to all of you?
Oh, no, I don't need to. Everyone shows their emotion differently, and carry that differently. But ultimately, you want people that have a winner's mindset, and that's what Christian has. He wants to, be the best he can possibly be in the game, and the team to be the best they can possibly be, and it's a great mindset to have.
You talk about energy within the team. Colton Tolstrup, is he available this week? Is he going to be in the team? Is he a young player with plenty of energy and can bring a big spark to the forward?
Yeah, look, he's had a long time out of the game, so the unfortunate nature is our VFL team's got a bye this week, so he's ready to go. So we've just got to get some more match load into him this week and see how he comes up from that. But he's an important player for our footy club, clearly a high draft pick that hasn't played at all this year. So he brings an energy and a toughness to our club, and obviously it'd be good to have him back in the next few weeks.
And Jake Lever, how's he feeling? I imagine he'd be quite flat to be out for the next couple of months.
Yeah, look, incredibly frustrated. Last year he had some injury, concerns as the year went on. He was in and out, and obviously again this year, missing 8 weeks. So it's a big loss for us, but it gives us opportunity for other guys to step up. And Jake will still play an important leadership role on a day-to-day basis, but clearly it's a frustration for him not being out there.
How are you finding things, Simon? Because naturally the pressure that he does come to the coach when things aren't working. How are you finding it this time?
Yeah, look, I haven't had one thought about myself. My thoughts are with the club, the team and the players. Through my time at the footy club, we've seen great challenges and we've been able to work our way through them and to where we've ultimately had success. So I'm in no different a position now. When you get challenged, you rise. you do your job to the best of your ability. And I think I'm pretty well credentialed to see through these challenges and get the club back to where they belong. And that's my job at task right now.
Are you using Gather Round as an opportunity to unite the group heading up into Adelaide into what is a pretty big game?
Yeah, look, it's a big game. It's a great concept. I think having every club there, you get to showcase where you're at, and we need to start to put our flag in the ground about where we're at and what we're doing. So we're looking forward to getting over there and making sure we play a way that's really impressive, and we get our season rolling.
Bailey French, I think you mentioned him last week. Where do you see where he's at this point?
Yeah, we feel he's turned his game around the last 2 weeks. He's 8 shots at goal. He's kicked 1 goal, 7. He needs to finish clearly, but in terms of what we're looking for, he's starting to get back to his best, and we're really confident with that. I think people are quite critical of Bailey, but if you look at his last 2 weeks in isolation, we feel like he's right back into some form that's going to take us forward.
How difficult is the coaching role when you have inconsistency with availability that you've had over the last probably 12 months? And then, like we said, if Rich gets 8 straight there, the scores might be different, and those things are out of your control.
Yeah, I've said this a lot, but cohesion's a big part of footy. And getting your team settled and understanding each other and operating to a high level takes time. We've been able to add a lot of youth to our team in the last couple of years, and our senior players have been in and out of the team, so we haven't had that cohesion as much as we like. We're starting to get our group into a position now where we can start to build that, and that's what's exciting for us, is that we are in a position where we can start to build that in the next 3 or 4 weeks. We feel we've got a pretty healthy squad coming together again. Obviously Judd McVie still to come back in the next week or so. But we feel that's where we're going to get our greatest progression, is getting these guys to play together more often, get them really clear on what's expected in the game, and start to evolve our game.
Xavier Lindsay, I think maybe he had to get through today, but do you expect to have him available?
Yeah, he'll play. He'll be available. He's done a great job. Obviously, it was some nervous times a couple of weeks ago, thinking he'd done an ACL, but he's done a great job in rehab and trained incredibly strongly the last week. So he was probably pretty close to playing last week, but he'll definitely play this week.
Anyone else you anticipate getting back?
I think that's it at this point. So as I said, we're starting to get a bit healthier. Judd McVie will be back next week. Colton Tholstrup will be available. Luca Kentfield as well. So we're getting a bit healthier.
A few coaches yesterday commented on the soft cap squeeze and all that, and how difficult it is. And I think Brad Scott talked about the lure of getting assistant coaches in. A few of your assistant coaches have gone on to even better things, meaning you've needed to attract a few in. Have you felt the sort of pinch of that squeeze in terms of the attraction of your assistant coach?
I think it's been a talking point for 3 or 4 years since COVID, clearly. And I think what you're starting to see with the senior coaches and around the competition is they're sick of talking about it. We need to start to reward our people better. The game's grown at a significant rate in the last 4 years, and the money's just not flowing back into the football departments and the coaching departments that it should. And I think you can see there's an increase in frustration, and it's something that the AFL need to address. We want to attract the best people, we want to keep people in the game, and we don't want to lose people. And ultimately, we want to make this the best profession possible for everyone. And right now, the people that are growing the game at a significant rate, whether that's the players or the people that are working in football, aren't getting rewarded to the level they should be, and it needs to change, and hopefully they'll start to listen.
Do you feel like you've obviously been with this group of players for a long time, like players are feeling less likely to seek that coaching pathway? And you've obviously had Nathan Jones come back into that role, but does it feel like they're dropping off, the numbers that want to go into it?
Obviously there's a separation in, clearly the players and where they come from a salary perspective to where they end up from a coaching perspective. You'll still have players that love the game a lot, but there's so much opportunity out in the world now for careers. And we want to make our coaching profession a career pathway that they want to do, and they feel like they're going to be rewarded for doing it. And right now, I think there's a separation that's too far, and we need to make sure we attract the best people possible for our industry to keep growing, and it's got work to do.
Wait, what am I? Hold on a second.
When you say subscribe button?
Well, I'm just going to subscribe. Jesus. Hold on, have I even said subscribe?
Yeah.
Okay.